Okay, time to get started on my next project. Starting with a piece of 4-inch pipe, and I'm going to cut it off at 4 inches. And then with this piece, I'll texture it with a grinder. So that's it for texturing with the grinder so far. I have this piece of 1-inch plate that I need to clean up, and I'll texture some rings here to make the end of a stump. And I just drew some growth rings on here with paint marker that I'll follow with a zip cut. And I tried keeping those not all like concentric, just to give it more of a natural look. So I used a die grinder with a little burr bit. And did that, which was quite tedious. Now I'm going to take a chisel and put some marks coming from the center out for little cracks. It's kind of hard to tell right now with it being shiny, but it looks pretty good. And because you're probably wondering what that is, that's just where the CNC plasma table started to cut, and this piece here is a piece of scrap from the inside of a circle. But I'm gonna turn that spot into what'll look like just a big crack or start a split in the wood. So I partially welded that up, cut it out, and textured inside of there. And I thought about just welding that up completely and doing a full thing, but I figured it'd add a little spice. And now I can weld these two parts together, and I'll line this part up with that to make it look like the bark is cracked with the log. Now I've got a big old 3-pass weld in there. And then I cut out a bunch of weird shaped parts. And then I welded those together to make this wonky looking misshapen part. But I still need to cap the ends, fill in those holes. And then I welded that whole thing together, started cleaning up some of the welds. And now that this thing's pretty much done, it's time to attach it to this. But before I do that, I want to do a couple little cutouts on here. So now I got this welded onto that, and a lot of you are probably wondering what the hell is going on here. But this guy here, that's a boulder. But it's not just a boulder, it's a rock. Then I capped inside of there with this little concave piece. And then I tacked on a bunch of roots, which look pretty terrible right now, but they'll look better. And I welded all along there a bunch to add on more roots. This thing is super hot right now, so I'm gonna have to go for lunch and let it cool down. So that's pretty much it for this part. Now time to use some 3/4 inch pipe. I'll put a bit of a bend in there and cut it to length. And with the pipe I made this. And now I'll run it through the rollers to give it an oval shape. And then I welded that handle on there. Added one more root for support. And there it is beside a 12-pound sledge. So now I have a tree stump sledge, or I guess it would be a maul because this end is an axe. And now I just have to sandblast and paint it. But before any of you guys comment it, no, I'm not going to fill that with lead. This thing's already about 15 pounds. And that's plenty of weight for a maul. More weight doesn't always make it better. And here it is now that it's sandblasted. I think this is going to be one of my favorite axes once it's painted. And now I've got it primed, but I'm pretty impatient, so I'm going to upload this video now. So yeah, if you want to see it painted, it should be a few days and I'll have it done.